Hey everyone, Tim with Ghost Towns of Washington, and today we are in Okanogan County out at Molson, which has a museum and some structures from Old Molson. So we're going to walk around, talk a little bit about this site, show you some of the features here. But before we do, we want to say thanks for following us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, and our Old Molson adventure begins now. So when you first come into town, the Okanogan Historical Society has this sign here, which reads, "Welcome folks to Old Molson, founded in 1900. She was a lively mining camp until a farmer claimed the whole town was part of his homestead. While the dispute raged, disgusted citizens founded New Molson half a mile north. People, businesses, the post office, everything moved to New Molson. Its railroad station, elevation 3708, was the highest in the state. The original Molson faded away, but its memories linger in these weather-worn buildings." So we're going to take a look around here. Some of you that have been here before are very familiar or live out in this area. So there's a lot of cool old artifacts and museum pieces out here. So we're just going to walk around and see what we see along the way here. So this building here is Law and Order of the Highlands, 1896 to 1972. So over here you have different lawmen of Old Molson through the years, starting with 1900 and going to looks like 1966. And then back in here, there's some photos, historical photos. So we're going to continue out this way, and we'll take a walk across the courtyard here. So over here we have the assay office, I believe, for the Poland China mine, which is actually not far from here. We've been to that site in years past. And you can see various mining related artifacts, and of course there's an ore cart here, which is great to see. Love ore carts. So we'll walk inside the assay office. So we have a board here with some mineral samples. And the signing here reads, "The assay office of the Poland China mine has been donated to the Okanogan County Historical Society by Raymond Dart. This is in memory of his father, Dwight W. Dart, the first president and manager of the Molson Gold Mining Company, former owners of the Poland China mine." So this building is original to that particular mine, which is super cool. Take a look outside the window here. It's a great view. So our first trip to Molson was probably about 10 or 13 years ago, somewhere in that range. I think I've been out here one other time. It's always a treat to come back here and take a look around this place. It's just a great area, and this just makes it even better having Old Molson and the museum out here. One of our favorites. So we're gonna walk across the courtyard here to the Shirene family cabin. So this cabin dates to 1898. And it was built by a prospector by the name of Frank Fontaine, and he also was a blacksmith. So we have wash tubs. Just a lot of cool period artifacts in here. Sewing machine, rocking chair, old stove. Just a great preserved structure for sure. So this is the Walker and Odell Homestead Locator building, 1900 to 1906. And the Odells were ranchers, I believe, in Chesaw. And then they quit that business and moved out here and partnered with somebody. And they became homestead locators around, I think, the early 1900s. So this structure presumably was moved here, along with the others from the original site of Molson. So we'll take a look in this one. Like a bedroom in the back here, the kitchen, sitting room, some history on Molson and the Walker Odell family history here. So it looks like the Odell family were early ranchers in Chesaw, and they became business partners with a relative in Molson as homestead land locators. And it looks like that was maybe sometime in the early 1900s. It's quite an extensive bit of history here on it, so I'm not going to try to read it all. I'm just trying to get bits and pieces out of it here. This old cabin that says Sievert, O'Rise 1908 Homestead Cabin. So kind of in the parking area, there is a lot of old farm equipment and tractors and wagons. We'll take a quick walk through here. Most of the stuff out here doesn't have anything describing what it is. A few things may. Trying to watch for that. It looks like some of the tags or descriptors are missing. So just to be clear, a lot of people will say Molson is not a ghost town, and it definitely has residents, but the structures here were moved here, and they do kind of make up a bit of a ghost town in terms of a museum, and they are what's remaining of Old Molson. So it's kind of a classic ghost town feel in terms, especially for Washington. So yes, we recognize that this is a created area for a museum and to preserve, but it's still the only real representation of Old Molson that actually exists today. Probably the two most photographed and well-known structures here in Old Molson, which is the assay office and the Molson State Bank. So there you have the teller's booth for the bank. And an old type press machine here in front of the window. An old stove. You go back in here. And this says this is an ammonia compressor for a meat market. So I'm assuming that's what this is here in the back. So we'll walk back out here into the main lobby area. Kind of see the view out those windows. It's just a cool building in a cool area. And then we come up to the teller's window to make our deposit or withdrawal. And you have the safe back here, a typewriter, some adding machines. All right, so we'll continue our tour of Molson. We'll head up the road and we'll take a look at the schoolhouse, which I don't believe is open, but we can definitely look at the exterior. And there's a couple more buildings out there. So we're standing in front of the Molson School, which is normally open as a museum, but after Labor Day it closes. But the school was built in 1914 and served as a 12-year school from 1915 to 1962. The high school students were bused to Oroville as part of a centralization process, which was completed in 1969 when the school closed. So what we'll do now is we'll just take a walk up and show you around the school, since we can't show you the museum on the inside. If you ever come here, I highly recommend you come at a time of year where you can go in and look at the museum. It is really an impressive museum and gives you a real feel for what schools were like in that time period. So we're walking up to the front here, and we'll just take a walk around the entire complex here. We have a playground here off to the right. I'll pan back towards the school. And it was an absolutely gorgeous September day to be out here. Temperatures are just right. The views are phenomenal. I'll just pan around over here, looking out across from the school. Now we're on the back side of the school. So next to the school is an old fire watch or fire lookout from Franson Peak in Ferry County. I'm not sure what year this was actually moved here. It's been here as long as I can remember and know. But it's just another cool feature of this area to look at while you're here. So we're gonna head down the road a little bit, and I think we'll stop by the Molson Cemetery and pay our respects there, and we will see you down the road momentarily. So we're walking down from the school to the Molson Trading Company building, which I believe serves as the community hall today. And then right over here, there's a sign from the Okanogan County Historical Society that talks a little bit about the story of Molson. So that's the story of Molson. And if we look down, you can see the rest of the building, how far back it goes. And one last view here of the schoolhouse. So on our way out of town, we decided to stop by the Molson Cemetery, which was established in 1910 and is still in use today. So we're going to just briefly walk around. Cemetery is located just outside of town, up on a little hillside off the highway. As you can see from the video, it's in a very picturesque, appropriate location. So this concludes our visit to Molson and the Old Molson Museum. We'd like to say thank you for coming along with us on this adventure, and we hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you again for following us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And please remember to subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to sharing our next video with you. And until then, take care.